Hello everybody, my name is Trailmaker. I'm playing a Game of Thrones Genesis, also known as AGOT Genesis. And so I'm doing the mission Conquest of Dorne from the year 157, the Conquest of Dorne. And so the story goes, more than 130 years after Aegon's landing, the last Targaryen dragons died during the reign of Aegon III, earning him the name of Dragonbane. When he died, Daeron I, the young dragon, ascended to the throne at the age of only 14. Despite his young age, he aspired to bring Dorne into the realm and thus unite the whole continent under a single banner. However, the Dornish men are reputed to be fierce fighters, well versed in the arts of guerrilla warfare. The task will not be an easy one. Yeah, I did it without losing my throat. That was not fun. So, this is a really bad RTS game, but it does have some really cool, unique elements, and I'm also a completionist, so I really, really want to finish this game. I don't know how much longer I can stomach it, but I will try as hard as I can to actually finish it. It's pretty brutal. There's lots of freezing, lots of lagging, lots of everything bad with this game. Right now, I'm hoping this is just a loading error, which the game has, and not the game crashing, because that would make me so angry. Please? Please? Oh god, it crashed. God damn it! Oh god, it just came and stopped again. But it did momentarily crash there. I shit you not. I couldn't move my mouse, but now I seem to be able to move the mouse again. It's a little bit laggy again, and hopefully this continues loading. So this mission is all about getting up an army and just maintaining production of wheat. So the enemy can send assassins at you, he can send spies at you. There's not a lot he can send at you though, and truthfully, just a few units can actually defend pretty effectively while you're building up your main army ball. Hopefully this loads. Please. The biggest thing for me is RTS game is all about building units, or sorry, collecting resources, using those resources to build units, and then expanding that ability of both using your units and then repeating the cycle. So eventually some big epic giant battle should happen. But this game doesn't actually have the ability to expand your units. Because the maps are so small and you only have one unit producing structure. Whereas even games like Dawn of War 1, Dawn of War 1, where there's no real... No, it's Dawn of War 2. There's no real unit production structures in this Warhammer game. But you can spend all your resources as you get them, so you can get stuff faster. I think that's what I'm thinking about. Maybe I'm thinking about... No. War Game was a good example of that. War Game is a perfect example of that. War Game, you get more resources, but you can rally out simultaneously. So getting more resources allows you to get more stuff. This game doesn't have that. And I just really hope this loads. Still not crashing good. As long as I can... It's just like, wiggling your toes. You can wiggle your toes. You're fine. But in this instance... Oh, this game's so terrible. Oh, luckily I have this delicious Tim Hortons Always Fresh coffee. Oh, it's gone cold. It's awful. Okay, a little bit left on loading bar. Loading bars, of course, are just graphical representations of what's happening on the inside. Not entirely all that accurate, but this one is doing good. Now let's get going. Story! Okay, so I have a guardsman, which is excellent, and this is pretty much what I'll be needing to really survive this. And I need a crap ton of these farmers. And the guardsman's only real job is going to be to arrest assassins and what are those guys called? Begins with a rogue. I think it's a rogue. And I'll just be cranking out these farmers like a boss. Because you need farmers to build a real armies. Otherwise, you're stuck with crappy mercs. Nobody likes crappy mercs. So I'm going to fill up every single farming spot. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more to fill up. And I have to wait on these things to really fill up. So it's really, really slow paced. Maybe I'll just click down here instead. So I have 3 more patches left. Peasants will start to become expensive. And just all the peasants coming into play here. Now my food is finally going up. The enemy will send assassins, like I said. And assassins can be particularly brutal against these peasants. So I'll probably need to get a spy next. 110 gold. Yeah, just slightly more expensive than a peasant. But our peasants are getting to it. They're bringing it the foods. And armies are pretty reasonably priced, looking at 200, 250 for the high quality ones. Yeah. All is good. Very, very good. So, yeah. This one's very linear, eh? Like, you have 2 distinct paths, but they all kind of lead the same place. And they all have bridges linking, so it's very, very easy to intercept any kind of enemy forces. And just like every other match or mission, the enemy tends to send small groups of units against big groups of units. So you always have the numbers advantage, which is, of course, great. Now, I could set up noble ladies in all these places, and the noble ladies would, of course, allow me slightly more income, but it just doesn't end up being worthwhile. What's going on? What's going on? Who's being attacked? Where? Is that an army? No. There's a rebel. There's a rebellion going on. I need an assassin to deal with this rebellion. How much is an assassin? 140 each. Well, we are certainly at the phase. Oh, here he is. Here he is, the rogue. He can't get away from me now. And there's a spy that we picked up. So I can start getting an army out, which is good. We have bowmen. We have crossbowmen. Yeah, the crossbowmen first. And then we'll get ourselves a Deuteronomy here. So yeah, I've captured him. So he could be worth gold to me. He could be worth something. I don't know. It'll depend, I guess. We're picking up all these rebels. I think the rebels are actually spreading to his own freaking bases right now, which is pretty brutal for him. Not so much for me. So this should pretty well cover all of our fares, as long as I can keep up with. Oh, look at that. There's actually. Oh, that's one that's supposed to be there. Okay, so I'm gonna bring this archer down to help try and kill assassins, and I'll bring my dude back. It's probably, guarding my front. Let's get another one of these duders. And now I got a dude in prison. He's worth money if he gets bought back. I don't know if he will, but he could. Which would be excellent. Gotta purge these rebellions, though. They can be dangerous very fast. They can spread like mad. So I mean, if I get one more army right now, I'll move on to the next phase of the game, which is a waiting phase. So I usually like to wait a little more though, just so I can get some things out. The commander is going to give me the fervor aura, which is great. Yeah, I want to get to about 500 food before I push this. And that's food. That's the resource right here. Oh god. Oh good. It's just the rebellion that we're putting down. Enemy army. Good choice on this. These crossbowmen. I guess they're good against not this type of unit. This type of unit. Not entirely sure what I'm talking about. Okay, we get to 500. Let's crank out another group of crossbowmen, and we'll get one of these dudes. Those dudes are always doing it good. How much food does it cost to get 112 and 120? That's yikes. That's getting expensive. But we'll crank out our next army. So I have 2 flanks to do. Now this one over here is not connected to anything. So I've covered this flank, and more importantly, this one with all my peasants on it. I've never actually understood that plan. It never made a ton of sense to me. And maybe it'll make more sense later on if I actually pull off the attack right. And you have to have your army in a kind of a ready position to attack. Kind of. Last time I did this, seemingly as soon as I moved into territory and started an attack, pulling away one army, I seemed to get credit. So I really don't know how this goes. Maybe that's intended and working as intended. I'm not entirely sure. But we'll see. We'll see when he gives his word. I think I need probably one more peasant, and then I'll be maxed out on production, which I am pretty close to as is. Gotta get fervor in order. Will be produced. My group of knights. I so do enjoy the knights. Quite merry the knights are. Okay, doesn't seem to be an attack coming this way just yet. Might be able to just completely skip out on that because I prepared for it. I don't know. Sometimes the enemy will put a flank here though. So I have a few units here to protect while my cavalry are very, very fast and can reinforce very, very quickly. If need be, that is. If they are needed there. But my main attack will be into this castle here, which I assume is just a place where I have to attack because it seems to work. I'll max out my food supplies for now. There are fields here, 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 here. So these two are pretty important to capture in a short-term situation only. I mean, realistically, we don't need that many forces. Dear God, they make these units really fast. Okay, it's go time. Whoa. Game lag again. And yeah, like as soon as I get close to this or maybe start attacking it, I will begin getting the objective completed successfully. I don't really understand a lot of how this goes, but it works basically. Now none of these things have real names on them, so I'm only assuming that this is Starfall. Now we're gonna keep our cavalry off to the side to kind of deal with possible enemies and continue on. Now the cavalry are really good because we can. There's like an assassin there. All right. Sieges are happening successfully. We got the assassin killed. That's good news. Always good news. And our reduction continues on steadily. Okay, we're inside the keep. This is a pretty key part of the siege. Animation, that is. We've broken in. We should be able to capture this castle relatively soon. Castles, of course, are very, very hard to capture. So capturing just one of these is a huge hit to the enemy. This looks like the army that would have been from Dorne. So here's the rest of the army that was delayed. So I've managed to capture that. So I guess I'll be using the rest to actually try and, you know, kill off this big giant army. Are these armies or mercenaries? They're actually armies, full-on armies. There you go. A lot of dudes running away right now. All gone. Sweet. So now I can try and get the other castle. And then I'll start with my giant mothball of army, just making my way around. Let's set a rally point. We need a rally. Right here for my rally. And then I'll be able to start using these farmers again, which will be excellent. And the new cut point is going to be right here. That will be the real only place where you can get an army across. So that's why I'm doing that. And we're back to sieging. Who's in a defensive formation? These guys, no doubt. Scaring the crap out of me.
Yes, scare the crap out of me, they are.
Alright. We're in the keep. No, we're not. We gotta get these doors open, boys. Oh my god, archers have started firing. We even have like a catapult here. Knock down the front, pushing through. All the doors are flying open. Archers are flying and dying. And this should be ours relatively soon. Badoom. I think that's a noise, badoom. So that this one and this one, like I said, pretty important because they give us access to more fields. So I'm going to grab those, and that will allow me to build a much, much larger army. And, oh my god, we just caught a rogue. That's probably the rogue that I arrested earlier, actually. Now that I'm thinking about it properly. Now these towns are much, much easier to take. You just have to kill all the people in the town, and they just kind of fall to you. So sieging, very, very simple up to this point. Very, very simple. Horsemen, pikemen, these are the guys I want.
We have faced some resistance, but the town is ours.
Gold mine I'm not going to be able to take, and it's not required, so that's easy enough. I don't know why they don't let me take the town, but they don't. And that's really all I know about it. Okay, so where are my... Get these guys back to work. Could always use more men. Okay, and that'll give me most to all the resources I need. Now I can move along the southern flank here because I already control this town, so I don't need to go this. And my army, which is over here, can be moved up to rally into this point, once I capture this one, because we control this bridge. So yeah, that's like the most basic of the tactics that you can have in a game like this. Get rid of these guardsmen. Guardsmen, of course, fight to the death, always. Always, always, always love fighting to the death, so they work that way. And once again, we can move these guys up little bits as we capture more things. I mean, my army's right here, so we can probably cover, yeah, this crossroad here. There's a bridge, can lead into here and here. And once we grab this, I can move up to grab the other one. Just trying to cover my ass as I go. Aha, new peasant. Get to work, young peasant. Many fields. You can be moved up. I think I might keep these guys here forever. Now this one very similarly has fields, but it won't matter too much. Oh my god, is there an assassin in here? There is. Oh god. Time to get to work, boys. Gonna arrest that target. Now this spy should be invisible. Oops, that's a mistake. Misclick. Good. Not so good. Get out of there. Arrest this target. Quickly. Oh, I got him. Cool. Okay, so now we can move these guys over to... I already own that town, so apparently. So now we have the southern flank, we have the northern flank. We are good. We can move in for the final target. We don't have to actually capture the castle, which is always a plus. Oh, there's an army here. Oops. Now, make another couple peasants apparently. Okay, the last one's right here. I love how the way they say farce. Like it's a big joke to them. This whole force of a joke. Yeah, gold mine's not a requirement for this, which is makes it a little bit easier. And we don't actually have to siege the keep. But the keep can fire on us while moving here. This keep actually has units who fire. Overwhelmingly, despite being expert, relatively easy mission. He's lying to you. He's trying to betray you.
Don't believe it! He said that to a bunch of people!